These mysterious images captured by the International Space Station's live cameras have been shared to various online groups that investigate mysterious space anomalies, with many calling them the clearest evidence ever recorded of the Black Knight satellite. For decades, this mysterious object has been described as an ancient non-human satellite orbiting Earth, silently watching from above. But never before has it been observed this close to the International Space Station, and never with such unmistakable detail. The shape seen drifting past the station matches almost perfectly with the long-standing descriptions of the Black Knight satellite: angular, metallic, asymmetrical, and unmistakably artificial. For years, researchers into unexplained aerial phenomena have pointed out strange behaviors involving the International Space Station's live broadcast. In numerous cases, whenever an unusual object appeared near the station, the live feed would abruptly cut out. NASA has frequently attributed these interruptions to technical problems. However, for viewers who witnessed this most recent encounter, the timing was far too precise to be coincidental. As the object approached, growing larger and clearer in the frame, the transmission began to distort. Moments later, the feed cut to a standby screen. To many, it appeared as if NASA had once again acted swiftly to conceal an object they did not want the public to examine. The legend of the Black Knight satellite has persisted for well over a century. Its origin story is often traced back to the late 19th century, when Nikola Tesla detected unexplained radio signals in the year 1899. He believed the signals were intelligent in origin, and decades later, those signals would be connected to the Black Knight phenomenon. Throughout the 20th century, military radar systems, astronomers, and later orbital tracking networks all periodically observed an unknown object following an unusual polar orbit, an orbit not used by any known satellite of its time. These sightings were never fully explained, and as the space age progressed, the mystery only grew deeper. By the time astronauts began traveling beyond Earth's atmosphere, reports of unidentified craft became more frequent. Several accounts from the 1960s and 1970s describe astronauts seeing objects outside their windows that did not resemble space debris, satellites, or anything manufactured on Earth. To some researchers, these were early encounters with the Black Knight satellite, which was believed to be much larger and more complex than any human-made object in orbit. Today, with the International Space Station offering a constant live view of space, the public has a unique opportunity to witness unusual phenomena firsthand. This new set of images captured something extraordinary: a large, clearly structured craft passing near the station, with visible contours, reflective surfaces, and illuminated points that matched descriptions documented for decades. It was unlike space junk, unlike a lost panel or tool, and unlike any known spacecraft. Its controlled movement and proximity to the station suggested intelligence, awareness, and purpose. From the perspective that this encounter is completely real and genuine, NASA's decision to cut the feed appears deliberate. The existence of the Black Knight satellite would fundamentally reshape humanity's understanding of the universe. If an advanced object has been observing Earth for generations, it would suggest that humanity has been under watchful surveillance by a civilization far more advanced than our own. This would not only rewrite scientific history, but it would also challenge established narratives about human development, global security, and the origins of modern technology. Such implications would undoubtedly motivate space agencies to keep the object secret. The Black Knight satellite has often been cited as a possible piece of technology left behind by an ancient civilization or even a long-running extraterrestrial monitoring station. If true, it would raise questions about how long Earth has been observed, what data has been collected, and whether contact has already occurred without public knowledge. This latest International Space Station encounter has reignited worldwide discussion. The object's incredible clarity, its deliberate movement, and NASA's immediate reaction have reinforced the belief that the Black Knight satellite is not a myth, but a real and active presence in Earth's orbit. As more people analyze the footage and compare it to archival images, the similarities become impossible to ignore. Whether the satellite is ancient, extraterrestrial, or part of an advanced intelligence monitoring Earth from above, this close-range capture marks a turning point. It is one of the most compelling pieces of evidence yet that something extraordinary is orbiting the planet, silently observing and remaining just out of reach. The International Space Station, a representation of global cooperation and scientific research, is located in the immense emptiness of space, where humanity's reach reaches beyond the limits of our planet. However, in 2015, a unique incident disturbed the peace of this orbiting laboratory, as an unidentified flying object was photographed by the International Space Station's cameras, igniting curiosity, conjecture, and discussion among astronomers, researchers, and enthusiasts worldwide. The incident occurred in 2015, when the International Space Station's live video feed captured footage of a large triangular-shaped object approaching the station's cameras from a distance. As the object drew closer, it appeared to change course, maneuvering with remarkable agility and precision through the vacuum of space. Toby Lund, a UFO researcher, was following the live stream when he saw a sizable object emerge. He swiftly snapped a screenshot of the object and said that he was glad he did, as the live feed abruptly stopped as soon as the object was visible. According to UFO researchers who monitor the live stream, this is actually a frequent occurrence. The feed will mysteriously stop any time an unusual object is visible to the cameras. Researchers have concluded that this is the extent officials will go to in order to prevent us from learning the truth. Several news outlets said that they never received a response from NASA when they attempted to inquire about their thoughts on what they believed the item to be. This is one of the more well-known images of a purported UFO spotted near the space station, and according to believers, the craft in question is a big triangular object, which is well known in the UFO community as one of the most frequently sighted UFOs. These craft reportedly have the ability to silently hover in the skies and swiftly depart the area when necessary. Researchers disagree as to which group these crafts belong. Some claim that these are the military's new stealth line, while others argue that this is unlikely given that some of these moon-shaped objects have been spotted in close proximity to the moon. The appearance of the UFO on the ISS's cameras prompted speculation about its origin, nature, and purpose, and some suggested that it could be a natural phenomenon, such as a meteor or space debris caught in the glare of the station's lights. However, due to how clear the object is, it's caused many to consider other possibilities. One theory proposed by enthusiasts is that the mysterious object is of extraterrestrial origin, a spacecraft piloted by beings from another world, exploring our solar system and observing human activity in orbit. This hypothesis, while speculative, is supported by the long history of UFO sightings and encounters reported by astronauts, cosmonauts, and space agencies throughout the history of space exploration. Another possibility is that the mysterious aircraft was a secret military or experimental craft developed by terrestrial governments to test advanced propulsion systems or surveillance technologies in the near-Earth environment. While this theory cannot be ruled out entirely, the international nature of the ISS and the transparency of its operations make it unlikely that such a craft would be deployed in close proximity to the station without prior notification or coordination. In the years since the encounter, efforts to identify and explain the UFO seen near the International Space Station in 2015 have yielded few definitive answers. While some have dismissed the incident as a mundane anomaly or camera artifact, others remain convinced that it represents compelling evidence of extraterrestrial visitation or technological prowess beyond our current understanding. Interestingly enough, one of the most remarkable aspects of UFO sightings captured by the International Space Station's cameras is the sheer variety and diversity of the objects observed. From luminous orbs to metallic cylinders, these unidentified objects exhibit a wide range of shapes, sizes, and behaviors as they traverse the vacuum of space. Some appear to move with deliberate purpose, executing intricate maneuvers and changing course with astonishing agility, while others drift lazily through the cosmic void, their movements seemingly defying the laws of physics. The appearance of UFOs near the space station has sparked intense speculation and debate among astronomers, and even astronauts alike, with many of them coming forward with their own encounters. As of right now, the phenomenon of UFOs captured by the International Space Station's cameras represents a tantalizing mystery that continues to captivate and intrigue scientists, scholars, and enthusiasts around the world. While skeptics may dismiss these sightings as anomalies or camera artifacts, the weight of evidence and testimony from credible sources suggests that there may be more to the story than meets the eye. As mentioned, amidst the routine observations and scientific experiments conducted aboard the space station, there exists a puzzling phenomenon which has been observed by thousands of people: the sudden shutdown of the live feed when unidentified flying objects appear. The International Space Station is equipped with high-definition cameras and advanced sensors, and it continuously monitors Earth's atmosphere and observes celestial phenomena, transmitting live footage to ground control centers and audiences worldwide. However, on several occasions, the space station's live feed has abruptly terminated when unidentified objects have been observed in its vicinity, sparking speculation and conspiracy theories about the reasons behind these shutdowns. One possible explanation for the shutdown of the ISS's live feed in the presence of UFOs is the implementation of a security protocol or safety procedure by space agencies and government authorities. In the event of an unidentified object approaching the space station, it is conceivable that mission control personnel would prioritize the safety and security of the astronauts aboard the station, opting to temporarily suspend the live feed until the situation can be assessed and the risk mitigated. Such measures would be consistent with standard operating procedures for handling potential threats in space and ensuring the welfare of crew members. Another possibility is that the shutdown of the space station's live feed is a deliberate attempt to conceal the presence of UFOs from the public and prevent widespread panic or speculation. Given the potential implications of extraterrestrial visitation or advanced technologies beyond our current understanding, it is conceivable that government agencies or space authorities may seek to control the narrative surrounding such encounters, maintaining secrecy and confidentiality to avoid causing alarm or disruption. While this explanation may seem far-fetched, it aligns with historical instances of government secrecy and censorship regarding sensitive information related to national security and defense. Furthermore, the sudden shutdown of the International Space Station's live feed in the presence of UFOs could be attributed to technical malfunctions or interference caused by the electromagnetic fields generated by these unidentified objects. As UFOs approach the space station or enter its vicinity, they may emit electromagnetic radiation or energy fields that disrupt the functioning of electronic equipment, including cameras and communication systems. In such cases, mission control personnel may be compelled to suspend the live feed temporarily until the interference subsides, or corrective measures can be implemented to restore normal operations. Whether the UFOs observed near the space station are evidence of extraterrestrial visitation, advanced terrestrial technologies, or something else entirely, their presence in our skies challenges us to re-examine our understanding of the cosmos and our place within it. Until we unravel the truth behind these extraordinary encounters, the mystery of UFOs near the ISS will continue to inspire wonder and curiosity, inviting us to explore the vast reaches of space and unlock the secrets of the universe. According to a former UK paratrooper and military intelligence officer, British Special Forces retrieved a non-human ship that was shot down in northern England in the late 1980s. Veteran of the British Army's elite parachute regiment, Frank Milburn, claimed to have spoken with an agent of the MI6 run team that conducted the purported mission. A pair of disc-shaped UFOs that were flying faster than their fighter jets at hypersonic speeds were pursued and fired at by the British Royal Air Force crew, but he declined to disclose the identity of his former partner, citing security concerns and his need to stay secret. The veteran shared startling details of a narrative his comrade from Special Forces told him after they both left the army in an exclusive interview with news outlets. He claimed he wanted to support previous accusations made by American whistleblowers regarding a covert UFO crash recovery program. Frank Milburn claims that his friend worked with Squad E, a covert, clandestine and paramilitary force that specialized in covert operations back in the 1980s. Formerly called the Increment, Squadron E brought in the most seasoned and reliable operators from the Special Air Service, Special Boat Service, and Regiment of Special Recognition of the United Kingdom's Special Forces. The CIA's Special Operations Group and Joint Special Operations Command, which are composed of Tier 1 forces like Delta Force and SEAL Team 6, are the American counterparts of this squadron. According to Milburn, his friend participated in multiple high-risk operations across the globe, including one that took place in his native nation in the late 1980s. He claimed to have told him they were stationed in a troop-sized group, maybe consisting of 20 or 30 Special Forces operators. He said that a ship that was not American, British or Russian had been taken down, and added that their mission was to secure and reclaim the ship in England's north. They were flown there in a helicopter, and he stated that it was obvious that the ship was not human and that there were occupants who had left the area on foot, which led to a task of tracking down these beings to try to take them into custody. They left a portion of the force to guard the ship. Maybe 6 or 8 men should have been left to cordon off the ship, and the rest would have been tracking these escaping beings on foot, in quads, or in large off-road vehicles with help from a helicopter. Everything was totally out of our control after that. Milburn claimed that his friend informed him that technicians and scientists had arrived in the region and that his team had been flown away by helicopter, leaving them to never hear again about the downed ship. And even though he declined to provide her with any further information and offered no proof for his amazing tale, the ex-paratrooper claimed he believed his former elite comrade's word after vetting him alongside other SAS veterans. He said that he has complete faith in him. After leaving the military, he spoke with the person and said that this individual is a very good skydiver. He talked to paratroopers and his former SAS colleagues, and they were discussing a man who courageously engaged in some of the most difficult combat during the Falklands campaign. He made the observation that this is not the kind of person who talks nonsense or jokes. Up until the late 1990s, Milburn was employed by the US Army Special Forces and the US State Department's Office of Diplomatic Security as a contractor in the Middle East. The mysterious Mike Foss encounter. One cold November evening in the mid-1970s, 27-year-old Mike Foss saw a mysterious shimmering object while driving home to rural South Dakota. By the time he got home, the object was hovering near the property, which added to the strangeness of the situation. The Foss family was left absolutely perplexed by the 3 further sightings that transpired over the course of several weeks, beginning with the strange sighting of Mike and his parents. After the encounters, UFO investigators looked into the case, but despite their best efforts, no plausible explanation could be found, and what they actually saw is still a complete mystery. Following his recent divorce, Foss was residing at his parents' house on a farm they owned around 7 miles south of Millbank, South Dakota, at the time of the encounter. Furthermore, despite having a natural aptitude for architecture, Foss was forced to work as a significantly less strenuous part-time switchboard operator for the Millbank Police Department due to a severe physical problem. Nevertheless, he was eventually seen as a reliable witness, possibly as a result of his employment. Especially considering that his father, Norman Foss, was also a South Dakota highway patrolman for nearly 20 years. On November 27, 1976, at around 6:30 in the evening, Mike Foss left for home after stopping by a Millbank auto body shop. The clear night had helped to bring the temperature down to almost 0, even though it was still early evening. He saw what he later described as a mysterious light without a source, an extraordinarily bright, blazing orange light above him on his right side while driving on Highway 77. For the next few minutes, he continued to focus on the light object, and finally he turned into a gravelled country road that led to his parents' farmhouse. He noticed the mysterious object seemed to be hovering over a field at the side of the road as soon as he turned onto this one, and at this point he stopped the car so he could have a better look, even though he was still inside and the engine was still running. Initially, he assumed the object was probably a helicopter, maybe a police chopper on a patrol or searching mission, but as he continued to observe, it became increasingly clear to him that whatever he was seeing was a little more unusual. His mind was suddenly filled with terror at this realization, so he stepped on the throttle and drove as fast as he could to his parents' property. He made the decision to tell his parents what he had seen as soon as he returned home, and then he would accompany them back to this spot to continue watching the thing. Mike was honking his car's horn to attract his parents' attention, even before he pulled into their driveway. With a scream, he brought the car to a stop and dashed home, calling out to his parents as soon as he opened the front door. Telling them as soon as he could what he had seen, he persuaded them to accompany him, and when they reached the front door together, Mr. Foss led his son out to his automobile. However, before they could leave, Mike abruptly came to a stop. The thing that Mike had noticed on the desolate road moments before was there, both in front of them and above them, estimating that it was 100 feet ahead of them. It seemed like it had followed him home. At this distance, they were able to make out that the object was clearly formed like an egg, with a blue glow at the bottom and various colored flashing lights on the upper half that appeared to melt into one another. For 20 to 25 minutes, all three of them were fixated on the thing. It spent this time between the barn and the hog house until it started to gently and steadily walk away from them, finally vanishing into the distance. Although none of the family members knew what to make of the incident, they all agreed that they had witnessed something utterly unusual. Furthermore, the Foss family would continue to experience weird occurrences even though they were unaware of it at the time. More information would emerge in the days and weeks that followed as UFO investigators worked through the case. For instance, Mr. Foss remembered that on the night in question, he had been watching television when it suddenly started to act strange shortly before his son arrived home. Mr. Foss would go on to say that the television only typically behaved in this manner during strong winds when the antenna was being hit, leading him to believe at the time that a sudden wind had picked up. Interestingly enough, the television reception had returned to normal by the time they went back inside the house after the object vanished. In addition, Mr. Foss was the one who realized that the object had to have been perfectly silent the entire time, and he remembered that as soon as he stepped outside after Mike got home, he could hear traffic on the interstate, which was about 2 miles distant.